ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guest speaker, our dearest lecture panel of the Department of Food Science and Technology, entrepreneurs, and fellow participants. I warmly welcome you all for today's webinar on modern quality assurance processes for the FMCG industry, organized by the Association of Food Science and Technology of University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. Just a little reminder before we get started. This webinar will be followed by a Q&A session. So feel free to type in your questions in the chat box area. Also, please keep your mics muted throughout the session to avoid any disturbances. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Fast-moving consumer goods industry delivers products to customers at a high rate of turnover and with a high level of innovation. Throughout the planning, designing, development, production, and service of the organization, a process-centered approach to quality assurance helps ensure that excellence is inherent in every step of the way. Joining with us today, he has completed his BSc with a second upper class in the field of chemistry from our very own university. He has more than 10 years of experience in quality assurance, including material quality assurance of both raw material and packaging material. His vast knowledge reaches out on use of SAP quality production modules and on working in a hygienic plant environment, ensuring robust quality assurance processes for the right consumer quality makes him an ideal resource person for today's session. Also, by being an ISO internal auditor, he's able to implement audit requirements at the manufacturing plant levels. Currently working as safety, health, environment, and quality manager at Unilever Sri Lanka, please welcome Mr. Chathura Padigama to share his expertise on the modern quality assurance processes for the FMCG industry. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, very good morning to you all. Thank you, Ashini, for accepting me as well as recognizing me to this today's session on modern day quality assurance. I think, Ashini, can you confirm me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Right. Okay, thank you very much. Right. Before moving to my technical presentation, let me to introduce from my side also with a small introduction, making you all comfortable to the session. Right. I'm Chathura Padigama. You all might have heard about my name and the rest of the industry experience and who I am working in. Right. I have been working in Unilever Sri Lanka as a 2P, 3P head of quality, 2P, 3P manufacturing as my current role. And I have been here last 14 years, as you correctly mentioned. And I was graduated from your same university in different department. Right? Just before moving to the technical presentation, thank you very much for you all believing me and inviting me to the session. And join into today's session. And especially I need to mention that it could have been done better if we have the opportunity to meet in physically, because of this this sort of technical presentations I believe should go in more interactive manner, not in the lethargic manner. But this is, I'm not saying the online, the mode of online and digital platform is not bad, but it could have been done, it's the better. But with the prevailing situation in the country as well as around the world, none of the choices we have so far. The COVID pandemic is anyhow bad, but a certain level, let's say like 90% bad. Usually I am telling 10% is good. Good side is this, nobody was thinking about like the online sessions, knowledge sharing sessions previously the COVID-19, this sort of the knowledge sharing. Right, irrespective of geographical barriers and irrespective of the level of the knowledge, level of the category, anybody can participate, especially the irrespectively the geographical barriers, because of the as a blessing. I see like this opportunity, anybody can join, right, and conduct the sessions. If we are going to wait till erasing the COVID-19 without going to this sort of options, you and me will be nowhere, right? So because of so far we don't have any indication of erasing of COVID-19 completely. So this is the good side of that. I'm sure that you will get the maximum benefit of this session, because of I am not going to tell I'm the most expertise in this field. I have been being with this area, this field, I have gained some knowledge. That's why I thought with the initial invitation to accept this and share some knowledge with you all, because of the fresh graduates, undergraduates about to pass the finalist, about to pass finalists, right? Likewise, categories may be there, the different student categories. So I think you will have some benefit during the session as well as at the end of the session in industry wise, because of Yada rather than me, even the food industry, because of I didn't, the academic wise, I didn't follow in the food science stream the fundamentals, but the academic wise you are in a very good position rather than me sometimes, but industry wise this is kind of a knowledge sharing session. That's why I called I'm not going to call this as a lecture, right? Then before moving to the technical presentation, just the few requests as Ashini made from you all, like keep your mics are muted because of technical or network glitches can happen with the bandwidth and everything. Better to not to switch on your cameras considering the network glitches. And I'm going to share my presentation first with you all. Then Ashini, you can confirm whether you can view it properly. I'm going to share my screen.
Yes, sir, we can see your screen.
All right, I'll do maximize it. I think you can make in the bigger view you can.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Sure.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Before moving to the technical part, I have this presentation. I have the divided into the two parts mainly, like the general quality assurance practices which have been practicing at the industries, right? Not from my industry, or throughout the country, throughout the world. These are the common concepts have been implemented in the FMCG industry, as well as not in the FMCG industry. Most of the rest of the organizations are fundamentals are same, but unique the structures they might have, right? Somebody might think like, what are the modern processes? These are actually not modern for the Europe and rest of the the European countries. These are the developed. These are evolution came from the European and rest of the world. As South Asian, especially like in the developing, underdeveloping countries, some processes might be new for us, right? The outsiders who join to this session, like they might have been working somewhere like multinational. Already they knew the technical part as well as the modern practices, but something new. If you feel like you can catch up from here, right? So before the coming into the modern quality assurance part, I'll be explaining here. You might have heard in certain years back, let's say like 1980, it was like a quality control, right? We call like a quality control. Then gradually it has become like in 1990 quality assurance practices. Then now we are moving away from the quality assurance even to total quality management, right? That's the era organizations has passed, right? Especially I need to mention the special request came from to manage the both languages. I am also very familiar with my mother tongue is Sinhala, so I am very familiar with managing Sinhala also. But I believe like as the people who are willing to, who are eager with the joining to the corporate sector, it would be better to conduct this session in English as much as possible because of since this is been little bit technical. So if anything, I feel like to be explained in local language. No doubt about that. I'll be doing so. Unless and otherwise, I'll be continuing the second language. So betterment of understanding you all. Actually, this you will understand timely. These are not the very technical jargons, but the very specific, the mother tongue words difficult to find. So I'll be continuing that. Whenever you feel like uncomfortable because of the language, just raise your voice, right? No problem at all. Unless and otherwise, I'll be continuing in the second language, right? This is how the quality assurance process, the quality control to total quality management, the process has been evolved, right? The quality control process, it was like a chief inspector role. It's like a kind of policeman role, right? Quality manager was doing, right, at that era. The production line was inspecting, and he was looking for defects. And if he got the defects, then he is going to be removed from the line and ensuring none of the defective products are being passed to the consumer's level. That was the simple content in the quality control mechanism in the certain years back we had, right? And then that was all about quality, the product quality, right? When we are considering, when we are taking the quality assurance process, it's a little bit different. Like you might have heard that the ISO certification and everything. Based on that, you know that the ISO certification, it doesn't talk about only the products. Product certifications are there. It talks about the process certification especially, right? So rather than talking about the product quality assurance, it moves to product plus processes. What are the processes we have been practicing at our organizations to produce the product? It could be HR, it could be finance, it could be engineering, it could be manufacturing, safety, quality, everything. Everything is addressed at the quality assurance level. That's why you will understand somebody might have been experiencing outsiders. So during the ISO certification, the system certification or surveillance audit, they are auditing everything, every part. HR people are getting into the audit, procurement people are getting into the audit. Everybody should be there. So that's how they are getting the product and processes into the same platform, right? Rather than talking about alone products. Then product quality assurance, then the quality assurance too, then it has nowadays it has been moved to total quality management systems, right? This is not, it is not talking about only the processes and products. In previously we talked about processes plus product. Now with the total quality management, it talks about product, processes, and the company. You will think about, you are thinking about that how we are going to incorporate the company into the quality management, right? It is this, right? We can tell like this: the company vision should be could be incorporated to the quality, the assurance process. You know that some companies, let's say like through the examples, we can understand that company is having their vision to incorporate the quality, ensuring the right consumer safety and consumer quality. They will have consumer feedback seeking hotlines before moving into the new product or new process development. They might have done the pre-requirement analysis in the market, right? The consumer complaint handling unit, they might have in the review meeting, consumer safety governance meeting with the head of director boards and with the presence of CEO, the chairperson, that might have. That's how company has totally aligned to the total quality management process, right? So this is what I have explained in previous slide. In the quality inspector role, it was like a quality manager was like quality inspector, right? With his team, they were coming to the line, they were seeking the defective products and removing from the line, ensuring not to pass to the consumer's level. That's called quality control, right? The difference between quality control and quality assurance process, right? You might have that understanding already, right? The routine, the activities, set of activities routinely we are doing, and very reactive, not to pass the products to the market. And that's the quality controlling. But at the end of the day, you have produced, you might have produced the defectives, but you are going to remove in very reactive manner, ensuring your defectives are being not passed to the consumers. That's the quality assurance in simple terms we can say, right? In the in-depth definitions are there, but you should understand, you should have that understanding on in the simple terms, right? The quality assurance means it is little bit different. This is the planned system. This is not the very reactive one. This is the proactive one. Proactively, whenever, because of you are the undergraduate, you are to be come to the industries, you are to be head the industry quality assurance process after certain times. You should, these are the very own aspects that if company has not been following, when you are joining to the organization, they had not been following these because of unavailability of the right skill, they are poor, they were poor at their knowledge. That could be. But as a quality manager or the responsible role in quality, you are making the direction, you are clearing the direction on quality, you can just change them, right? Try to change, right? That's the whole intention of that. Unless and otherwise you are getting the knowledge here, keeping it with yourselves, and if you are not going to execute, then nobody will have the benefit, right? Quality assurance is a planned system. Proactively, you are planning with your previous data, with your previous experiences, with your knowledge, with your you can browse somewhere else like the good practices. Then you can have the proactive plan not to happen the quality-wise deviations, quality-wise defectives. You will not have. That's the very planned process. That's how the quality controlling is differed from quality assurance, right? Then I talked about quality, total quality management system. This is the bit complex process, right? That in that process, during that process, we talked about only product and processes. In this stage, I talked about the company. Company is all about company culture, consumers, company systems, and everything, right? The people and processes are there, right? People and processes we talked about in quality assurance process. Then there should be system to verify these processes. Then systems to be validated, to be inculcated by the people. These three connected each other. We need to ensure that all three are happening in right manner within the organization. Then only we can go to the total quality management. People should be there, like you, industry people, quality assurance managers, as we talked about. Then the expected processes that we might use to produce the individual products. That products, the processes are there. Then the systems. In the total quality management, we talked about systems here. To validate everything, people and processes. Those are once we established, and we cannot be in the mindset of all are working fine, but we need to validate them, right? To validate that, we should have systems, right? Then it's all about the quality culture. That talks about the total quality, that describes the total quality management, right? So this is the consumer's perception, right? In the certain years back in the historically the consumers were seeking the defect-free products in the market, right? That's their primary objective was getting the right and defect-free products picking from the shelves, right? But modern days it is little bit different, right? Because of you can see, like you can think, whenever you are visit the marketplace, let's say you imagine you are before the market shelf, right? So the modern trade market shelf. Just you are expecting the defective product. Even nowadays, you are not going to think about the defective. The certain years back, if there are certain defective products, the consumers are going to be accepted that because of the level of knowledge were poor, competition among the operators in the market was poor, right? But nowadays the things has been completely changed, revolutionized, right? So you are even as you are not like me, even you are the millennials are, you are not going to think about the defective products in the shelves. If you see like defective products, you feel like it's as a very uncomfortable. How this has passed to the market, right? That with that just satisfying consumer without defectives, that's enough, not enough to maintain long-term relationship with the consumers, right? Failure from the defects and free from the failures and the defects, the concept has been completely moved out. Now you should think how delight the consumers. Delight consumers means you are having all the fundamental, you are the basic, the core augment of the core features of the products are there, right? But additionally than the core features, if you can deliver more than consumers expected, then only consumers will be delighted. That's the challenge. That's the industries are facing challenge, right? Because of I'm telling, no longer the technology is no longer secret, right? Let's say like if you are two people are going to join and start the commence new the ice cream, the shampoo manufacturing or soap manufacturing facility after your graduation. Let's say you can Google and you can search all the information. Information are no longer secrets, right? Then the technology is no longer secret. If you once you gain the required knowledge through somewhere, then you are thinking to getting the correct equipment and logistics, right, for your process. Then it will not be no longer secret. You can Google out, you can order through online. Many more suppliers will be available in the online platform to provide you the logistics. So secret, those are not the secrets no longer, right? Challenge is how we are getting consumers getting attracted into our brands, right? And maintaining the repeat purchase and good relationship with the consumers. That's the challenge. To meet that, the quality assurance process would be drastically supported, right, into the industries, right? That's how we have to overcome the challenge through the delighting consumers through quality assurance processes. Then I have added here the traffic light system, right? Traffic light system means this is the more qualitative the kind of thing, right? The people are always seeking in the marketplace nowadays the green apple, right? Green products, right? Even people are not going to accept just not acceptable product. People are not going to accept, right? Let you can remind like whenever you are going the modern the supermarkets or the FMCG product shelves with the very minor defects, the consumers did not buy that. Consumers keep aside that product and they are searching the perfect product on the shelves, right? That's how they are not going to accept the just not acceptable product. And not acceptable product, they didn't purchase at all. Nowadays the trend is that making the consumers fair authority to the complaints and the consumer care hotlines of the organizations making complaints. Likewise, how they are going to totally reject that non-acceptable products, right? Just not acceptable products are not purchased at the marketplace by anyone, right? In modern day, they are always seeking acceptable products. While they are seeking acceptable products, they are expecting to be delighted then, right? This is the people might think in the old days, the certain years back, that people might think like quality assurance process, quality assurance people, you might understand timely whenever you are going to the industries as a professional, you will understand this. Some industries see like as a quality people like a barrier, right? Why people are seeing like quality assurance people as barrier? Especially manufacturing people, their priorities are different, right? Planning, there are certain departments, there are certain incorporated processes are with the manufacturing process, like finance, the finance, procurement, planning, manufacturing, quality assurance. There are certain functions. All together, finally, they are producing and releasing the product passing to the consumer's level, right? When working as a team, they will see like the quality people as a barrier always, because of quality people appear always against the defects, against the malpractices, not to pass the defective products to the consumers level. That's how quality people are behaving. That should happen. Because of at the end of the day, manufacturing people are responsible for timely delivery, timely manufacturing of the products. Procurement people are responsible for timely providing the raw materials, packaging materials to the industry, right? Finance people are finally responsible to the organization to making the products selling at profitably, right? HR people are responsible for the providing right skills, right talents, the people to the HR point of view to make sure the right processes at right time, the right HR talent should be there. The HR people, their talent, their responsibility is that, right? But quality people, they should understand what is their responsibility, what industry expects from them, right? The rest of the people like see you as a barrier, but it was also, I'm going to tell it is also out of date concept, because of you should interpret them, you should work together with them, all of the sub functions, to understand them. We are not going to no longer barrier to you, we are here to support you. We are here to streamline processes to the manufacturing people. We are here to bring cost efficiencies to the finance people. We are here to right usage of raw materials and packaging materials without any wastage. We should interpret to the procurement people. That's the challenge nowadays quality managers are having. If you are going to behave as the millennials, you are the millennials, unlike me even, right? If you are going to the industries and you are going to appear as a barrier, once some quality managers, I have heard like some quality managers are telling like this, manufacturing people, if they want, they allow them to produce. Once they produce defective, I'll definitely block that. I have that authority. That sort of autocratic mindset that quality assurance out of date people are having, that should not be happen, because of at the end of the day, all of us are here to support the business. All of us are being paid by the business. So if business are not going to be make profits, then the business no longer have an opportunity to pay us, right? So that's how the quality concept we should understand. At the same way, manufacturing people should understand that, right? Let's say like some people are in the mind might be in the understanding of like this. I am going to produce 100 units from some products. Let's say like it could be a bucket of ice cream or a bottle of shampoo, irrespective of the product, 100 each, right? Somebody can tell out of 100, I am going to deliver as we expected in right quality, 96%. 2% neither good nor bad, then 2% definitely defective. Then there's some organization leaders, they are also accepting 2% no. They have the manufacturing people, they have produced 98% good now. 2% they are producing bad. That's not the issue for me. That's the issue there, right? People are under that mindset. 2% would be the business putting in a trouble, the business, right? Because let's say like 2% is very simple value, very small value, minor value, negligible one. When you see like as a 2%, try to convert this into your units of the production, right? You are not going to produce 100 units and you are not going to shut your organization and close the business. You are not doing so. We are not doing so. Right? This is the continuous product. Let's say like if you are going to produce millions of product, let's say like the cone of ice creams, right? If you are going to produce millions of ice cream cones per month, let's say if you are going to produce 2% of red and amber, which are not really acceptable by the consumers, then at the end of the day, you will produce 40,000 defects per million, right? Let's calculate how the 40,000 units would be cost to the business, right? Let's say like 100 rupees per each, you can multiply 40,000 units into the 100, right? It would be like 4 million, right? It's not the simple value. 4 million is the considerable amount, no, to the small industry, not for the small industry. Any industry, it's the considerable amount. Let's say think like that. If we are, as quality managers, our focus should be with work with the rest of the team to produce none of the defectives during our production line, right? This is the example I am going to show you. Like if let's say like you are using particular machine at 100 units per minute, right? That's the you might not have that understanding. The machine speed, fully automated lines are running at such a high speeds per minute. They are producing, let's say, definitely more than 60, 80, right? It could be some modern machine, let's say like toothpaste machines. They are producing 200 units. You cannot imagine 200, even one unit produced at less than 1 second, right? 200 units have been producing in some products like toothpaste, let's as an example, right? Let's say like at the average as 100 units per minute, let's say total days production would be like 140,000, 44,000 bottles per day, right? If you can calculate if you are going to produce 2% defect, at the end of the day, 2,880 bottles would be wasted as defective. Let's say like, let's say this is as a shampoo production line, right? This 2,880 would be cost to the organization at the end of the day, 8 lakhs, close to the 9 lakhs, right? 9 lakhs means it would mostly equal to the quality manager's 6-month salary in some organization, right? So this is the reality. We should understand, everybody, especially the quality people will not have that financial understanding, right? Quality managers, quality rest of the quality staffs, they are behaving like they are ideal quality people, right? It should be practiced at ground level, but you should have some sort of understanding on the finance, part of the finance, part of the depreciation, cost and everything. You should have that fundamental understanding, students, right? Because you are the very new joiners, eager with the joining to the reputed organizations as quality the quality leads, right? So I am not saying like the additionally, I am saying always like additionally to your degree, you can follow something. This could not be the like CIMA or a very professional qualification. It's better to have, but basic the financial fundamentals you should have, right? Then only you would understand how much it would be cost if I am going to produce defects. Not for the quality assurance people, each and everybody in Sri Lanka, country like South, especially like Sri Lanka, most of the people in the higher position like quality, it could be safety, especially in the government organizations who are in the administrative SLA service, they are very poor at the costing, right? That's why the government projects are not benefited most of the time. The accountant's mindset, we should have up to certain level. Not in that professional accountant, we should not be, because of we are not the accounting professionals, but fundamentals should have. Let's say like as an example for betterment of understanding you all, I am going to share this example with you, right? Let's say like some people, once they become quality managers, they are proposing, let's say to eliminate this 2% defect, they are proposing like 400 million equipment, like 400 million more the sophisticated equipment to quality assurance process. That would practically will not work, because of at the end of the day, organizations are thinking about their investment, because 400 million investment means you know that how much it is big. So at the end of the day, each and every cost, if you are going to be printed single paper, that cost at the end of the day would be added to the shampoo bottle which you are going to be sold, right? And consumers to be paid for everything, right? If you are in the very bad at efficiency, the very bad at quality, everything, organization has to manage the bear that cost, as well as consumers has to pay that cost, because of at the end of the day, organizations are not like charity. These are not the charity organizations, no. These are the commercial organizations. Organizations are there not to provide any the free of charge products, or not to provide us any job opportunities. So we should understand that organizations are there to maximize their profits. You will timely understand why when you are joining to the organizations, their top priority is maximizing the profitability level, because of these industries they have been invested by the shareholders, right? Shareholders, at the end of the day, shareholders are expecting some dividends, return for their investment. Let's say like if we are going to we are really incapable to give the return for their investment, definitely they withdraw their investment and they will deposit in the government or private banks, and they will get their interest, because of investors are coming and investors are investing in these sort of industries, expecting the return rather than bank interest, right? That fundamental understanding you should have. In addition to that, mainly everybody should understand why we are supporting to the industry, because of the cost improvement. If we are, as far as we are not going to bring cost benefits to the industry, our quality assurance process will not believe the business, right? If as far as we are able to deliver the right results, right quality assurance process that could be benefited through the financial perspective, then only business will believe the quality assurance process. In addition to that, certain values are there, certain aspects are there. Because of the maintaining quality, these additional the aspects we can have: reducing consumer complaints, less business waste, increasing brand equity, improving market share, and at the end of the day, business growth. These are the second set of priorities. Main priority, everybody should understand whenever you are going to face the interviews. Even I have sat last couple of the months I have sat for the certain interviews. Most of the time we will ask questions like in the indirect manner, expecting this sort of answers. How we are going to establish your quality assurance process? Mostly students tend to answer like they are bringing highest quality standards, sophisticated instruments from somewhere else. They are going to establish more digital platform to ensuring quality. Likewise, those are, everything is good, but industries are expecting something to contribute, reducing quality through reduction of defects. That's the fundamental expectations industry. You keep it in your mind also whenever you are going to interviews, facing interviews. You better to highlight how you are going to incorporate your quality processes to the business, right? This is again, some people believe like once we check the product at factory level and when it's passed to the next level, no need to pay attention, none of us there, because of already we have passed that to the warehouse. Warehouse people will deliver to the customer level. Customer will deliver, once we deliver to the customer level, no longer liability with the product. Customer's responsibility is to deliver to the consumer's level. That's also another one of out of date concept, right? We are responsible, you believe students, we are responsible at the point of manufacturing to at the point of usage of the product, right? Whenever the consumers are using the product and they feel like bad, they are not going to satisfy with the product, then up to that level, we are responsible, right? That's how we are maintaining good relationship with the consumers and encourage how we can maintain long-term consumer organization relationship, encouraging the repeat purchases, right? This is how we are at the consumers level we are looking for, like we are getting the consumers feedback, how you feel about this product, like are you satisfied, are you delighted, what are the features to be improved. Likewise, consumer panels are there. All the consumer panels data gathered by the marketing department in the common way, right? It passes to the relevant R&D people, like research and development departments, like quality assurance department, like manufacturing, the manufacturing units. The data and feedback will be transferred, right? Then, in addition to that, factory level normal quality assurance process is there, right? Anyhow, before the releasing to the market, in any organization, that factory quality assurance process is there. One aspect, somebody might know this, in between the factory and consumer, we stored our product at shelves, right? We might deliver our products to the customers. We call like, you know that the difference between consumer and customer? Customer means the person who's actually not using the product. He's another seller. It's a bulk seller, right? Wholesaler, right? Consumer is the person who is purchasing the product for the sole objective is using that, consuming it, right? The market and the customers level, we should ensure quality. Let's say like at the factory level, we are going to deliver the right quality and we are not looking at the customers level, then consumers will not get the right product quality, right? This is again how we are going to ensure quality, the factory level, warehouse level, and the shelf level. Right? Then let's move to the modern quality assurance processes, right? These are the good practices. Whenever you are going to the industry, after this lecture, the knowledge sharing session, this webinar, once you return to your organization, so once you are going to as a new joiners to the organization, you don't seek these concepts at their organizations. These are the good practices. Better to have, if not there, try to establish these own concepts at the organizations you are eager to go, right? You are eager to join, right? These processes might not be there, no problem at all, because of these are the good practices, right? You should understand, you should have that understanding, the level of risk with the products, right? What are the consumer safety related risks? It could be changing. It might be changing like industry to industry, right? Because of, you know, that somebody, let's say like somebody is producing the ice cream or the very sensitive, microbiologically very sensitive product for peanut butter, right? Those are very susceptible for the micro contamination. Somebody may be producing like shampoo, toothpaste kind of product. It's the less risky than the consuming directly, because of we are not directly consuming and digesting the toothpaste like products. No? Then somebody may be producing like shampoo or a face cream. Somebody may be producing laundry soaps. Any industry shouldn't have the same sort of this pyramid. According to your risk level, you identify first the risk level through your HACCP or somewhere the recommended method. The HACCP is the best method, right? You identify the product risk level, right? You discuss you might have received that data through R&D, the level of product risk. They have, because of they might have evaluated the product risk levels. So based on that, you develop to your own industry risk pyramid. What are the immediate risks posing the consumer safety, right? What are the brand impact risks? What are the legal violations? What are the consumers are not going to encourage for repeat purchases? Likewise, you make on the pyramid to the organization. That's the modern quality assurance process that's the first best practice. Then understanding the quality pyramid. This is the own developed the pyramid by myself. So the betterment of my the understanding and creating the path to my organization. I am working on this, right? Likewise, you can have on the pyramid, right? Again, you can see like quality fundamentals. The bottom two you can see as leading indicators, right? Leading indicators, those are the quality fundamentals we call, right? These are the lagging quality indicators, because of these are very reactive ones. You can see like customer complaint, consumer complaint, the statutory violations, consumer safety risks. Those are we will get all this sort of nature products beyond our control. You see that customers level means customer complaint means already the product has passed to the customer level, right? Then once it is passed to the customer level, then there is a huge chance to pass to the consumers level. If let's say like we'll see like we'll go through from the bottom of the pyramid. If as far as you are having good systems and the good quality certification, let's say like the ISO certification, SLS process certification, as far as you are having good systems, you are in the safe end. If you are going to lose these controls, then some deviations you are in a position to identify through internal audit process, right? If you are having that certification or the product or process certification, definitely you are supposed to do internal audits, right? If you are not going to maintain these standards as per the stipulations, so you will get more points, more deviations during your internal process. If you are producing the products under the processes with more internal gaps, audit gaps, the GMP is at very bad, right? Your manufacturing process is at very bad, your controls at very bad, then what would happen? Definitely one product still chance to pass to the customers level, because of you are not going to maintain these the fundamentals in zero level. You are going to maintain, and you cannot expect perfect quality, right? If let's say like garbage in, garbage should be out, right? most probably customer complaints will be generating. If let's say you are going to further you are going to neglect because of you are not maintaining the right fundamentals at your factory level, then customer complaints are generating. Still you are going to think like, okay, it's customer complaints are generated. No, any consumer complaint so far has not been generated. I'm fine. So once I'll attend this problem once I'm going to have the consumer complaints, right? Then you will be definitely end up with the consumer complaints because of you are not going to attend at the right stage. Then at the customer level, then consumer complaints will be generated. If let's say like you will have that the consumer care hotline and the consumer seeking the consumer's feedback. If consumers are getting the reaching out to you with the complaints about your defects, somebody can keep their silence, right? Because of then nobody's until and unless they are going to the statutory organizations, statutory the institutes, you can keep your silence. But at the end of the day, your brand image completely will be deteriorated. Once you have, not only that, after deteriorating brand image, if you are further going to neglect that, definitely you will be ended up with the statutory violation. Let's say like if you are going to pass the product without date code, right? Date code is much more important, and that's a statutory requirement of the country legal framework, right? If customer complaints might be generating like you are producing without date codes, then you can neglect. Consumer complaints might be generating. It could have been generated to a certain level. Then you can neglect. Then brand image. Then the people will not the encourage to purchase your product because of unavailability of manufacturing date, expiry date. Then once statutory organizations going to be noticed that this, definitely they will take legal actions against your organization, right? If not only that, if this might has passed to the consumers level, let's say like food product, ice cream, let's say like the yeast product, like let's say like peanut product, because of some people at very poor understanding on this shelf life, they might consume this, right? If they are going to consume this product and they will be ended up with some consumer safety risk, then putting everything in everybody in your organization, putting in a trouble, and you have to appear before the courts even, and they will seize your organization operations, right? That's how we should have the quality pyramid understanding, right? Then quality means the most of the out of date concept I was telling about, people were seeking the out of quality products, right? They don't have any the fundamentals, any understanding on that. They let's say that they were comparatively evaluating the products. If they are during their evaluation process, if they feel like as their wish, quality manager feel like this is not up to the standard, he or she is going to be rejected, right? If manufacturing people are coming to them, and most probably they are saying like, no, this should be within the limits. How we are going to say like this is out of limit? I am saying this is the within the range. This is the within the limits. That sort of the ambiguity areas were there in the past quality assurance processes, because of process was unclear, and it was not giving very clear picture to everybody. The modern industry, the most important thing is converting these quality assurance parameters into the quantitative measures. Unless and otherwise, you have that so as far as you are having that the quantitative value to interpret the quality measurement, then nobody can challenge them, because of somebody. Let's say like if you are going to tell like above the 100 products, we are saying like we can pass to the market. Any products below the 100, we cannot pass to the consumers. That's the organization alignment. If the first of all, that the organization alignment should have, quality assurance department cannot be done this alone. So this is what that's why I am telling that the total quality management system, organization, processes, and for the people, everybody should be connected. Organization is going to be defined the right quality assurance process, convert into the quantitative measures with their own manner, right? No longer the people can challenge others, right? It would have clear picture on these are the acceptable levels, these are the substandard levels, right? you can consider when defining your own system. These are the good practices. These are, if the organization you are going to join will have these processes. Some organizations, especially like the small organizations, local companies, they might not have, right? You can understand the severity of the failure. If my product is going to fail due to this particular quality deviation, what's the severity? If the people are going to be died, people are going to be hospitalized, people are going to be right? Allergies, kind of having that mindset, you can have the severity number from 1 to 5, right? Let's say, like as an example. Then the repeatability of the incident. Some incident could be like one time occur because of failure of the existing process, and it will not never happen again, right? Because of you are going to strictly strictly monitor the controls available. One time you might have failed, but going forward you will not have that, right? Then repeatability of incident, you need to evaluate it. If let's say like you don't have, none of the controls are there, then you cannot guarantee like next time this same incident will not have, right? Then the repeatability, then the impact to the production, how much would be costed, right? How the costing benefit, right? The negative benefit would be in what level because of this substandard product. Let's say like because of we are being produced that substandard product, like creating consumer safety, and we might have to recall all the product from the market and destroying the products. That cost can be added. Let's say like during the manufacturing, if you are going to catch some defective products, you count all the product cost. Then you can give value. If you are, let's say like that's totally dependent on the industry and the size of the industry, right? Let's say like you are going to the waste, produce waste like 1,000 rupees, 1,000 LKR per day. Let's say like give one. If you are making in between 1,000 to 5,000, you can rate like a 2, 5,000 to 10,000, 3. Likewise, you can have that the production cost number. By multiplying all these 3, you can have the right value. Then let company to decide through the predefined system, this beyond this value we are going to accept, beyond below this value we are going to release the product. Likewise, considering risk and everything, you can define your own system to the organization. This is another good practice, converting consumer qualitative value to the quantitative measurement. Again, these are the how you should do the improvement. You might have heard this word 4M mechanism, like the YY analysis, everything you might have heard. At ground level, I am not going to do the detailed explanation here because of this is not the right forum. This is another separate area to be discussed. And if you have leisure time, we will organize separate the session, and we will do like Kaizen, 4M, YY, those are the separate things. But I need to mention, this is another good practice. We shouldn't jump into the decisions to bring the quality improvement. It should come in the technical manner, the analytical mindset we should have. Everything we studied, we learned, we are learning at the university. It could be like at our A levels. We are having that analytical methods, very good analytical skills. But unfortunately, people are coming to the industry. They forget about. They are going to forget about everything, right? They are superficially they are seeing problems and the issues, and they are going to correct and recorrect the processes. Don't do that. You should have own mechanism to your industry to correct analysis of the defects. If let's say you are getting the code defects, manufacturing code is not being printed on your product in correct manner. If your product is going to be leaked because of the properly not sealed with lid and pack, right? That defect should be analyzed in the defined, well-defined mechanism. It could be like YY, it could be like 4M, likewise, right? I'm not going to say the exact method. Based on your industry, you can define own method. This analysis should not be performed along by the quality people. To perform this analysis, it should be encouraged. It should be incorporated. Everybody with the associated with this process. Let's say engineering people must be there, production people should come, the quality people should be there. Likewise, those are the 3 main groups should be there. Because of unavailability of one group, we cannot be continued, right? This is another good practice. Then the PDCA cycle, right? You might have again heard this plan, do, check, act, right? Plan means through that 4M, YY earlier we spoke, like through that you can bring the improvements, whatever the improvements through coming that analysis, in scientific way, you can identify. Once you identify them, then you are going to implement the improvement with the sole objective of eliminating particular defect, ensuring right quality product and pass into the consumer's level. Then you implement it. Most of the people are making common mistake in everybody. It could be like manufacturing, it could be in the quality assurance. Nowadays, most people are making this the mistake. You are identifying well, you are implementing, but you are again not going to validate it, right? If that once you are going to be implemented the process, getting corrected the quality deviations, that will not give guarantee forever that's working fine. You need to verify time to time. You need to, at the very beginning of the improvement, you should inspect them in higher frequencies, right? To validate whether my improvement is working fine or not. You need to gather data. You need to analyze trends. You need to, the data analysis tools you are learning, like SPSS, right? Minitab. You need to, that's why I am telling, most of the people forget about everything. They are not going to implement at the industry at all what they have learned from their primary, secondary or tertiary education level. That should be, the trend should be identified, the data should be gathered. Then if there are deviations, then only you can act upon that. Because of still you are getting the defect, still you are producing the defective products and releasing to the market after the even improvement, you should relook at the improvement. That's how important PDCA cycle, right? These words should not be limited to the words. Practically, these should be implemented at ground. Then the machine and equipment. Most of the people are in the industry, they are having the understanding of machine and process equipment, they are out of my country. Those are the owner of those machines and process equipment is the person who is the plant engineer. And plant engineer also in some organizations, he is thinking like, I am the person here, nobody can challenge me, I am the engineer here, quality manager is not coming with the engineering background, how he or she should know rather than me. Machine improvement and the machine related defects or a machine related license or the suggestions cannot be come from the quality assurance department because of I am the, you know that in Sinhala, Mama Tamai Pora. That mindset will have mostly with the engineering people in the some industries, right? Most out of date people. But you keep in your mind, the people handling is different part. When the organizations you are going to join, the people, that sort of nature people you will meet, you will have, but you cannot go them to home, no, because of you are going to the industry and you are going for a new career, seeking the new career opportunity. You don't have any conflicts with them. The people handling is different skill. You need to somehow getting aligned the plant engineers and the rest of the technical teams to the quality assurance requirements and getting done your requirement through them, right? That's how the fundamental and basic is getting their involvement and allowing them to involve for those 4M YY analysis and let them to decide why we are producing this defect because of what failure, because of which machine part failure. Let them to identify. Once they are going to identify, you can govern it, you can lead it. They are allowed to part of the team members, right? You should have the leadership of doing that. Then through themselves, they are going to identify that these are the things should be improved. Definitely, they need to do that, right? You should have better understanding. That's why I am telling you should not limit to the quality. Quality assurance function means you are going to the line and find the defective products and rejecting that. That should not be your scope, right? You should have better understanding on machine manuals, SOP. Each and every machine parts, it will have the manual. The supplier will be issuing, especially for the European machine, not only for the European. It could be Indian, Chinese machine. They will definitely give us the machine manual. You no need to have the engineering knowledge. It's a workflow requirement calculation, most complicated calculations like the fluid theories. That should not understand, but at least as a quality manager, you should understand fundamentally how this machine works, right? then only you can challenge somebody if somebody is not running the machine in appropriate way. Because of that, you might receive the defective products, right? So based on that, because of at the end of the day, preparation of SOP quality related work instructions, everything depends on you, right? To give that correct scope, correct work instruction, correct SOPs in quality point of view, you should, especially during your HACCPs, defining your CCP and QCP points, you should have this understanding. Most of the quality people will not be doing this, right? This is another good practice. You should have better understanding through the machine manuals, and it could be like a CD format. They will be sending any format. You just go through that and have the fundamental understanding of the machine functionality. Then the early equipment management, you might not have heard this previously. Early equipment management is whenever you are getting the new equipment to your process. It could be like you might have been engaging with biscuit manufacturing and you are going to produce chocolate, right? Going to be produced chocolate at your another facility, and you are the responsible quality manager for entire operation. So early equipment management means you should have better understanding in the early stage of this equipment, before the equipment landing to your facility, and acting on very reactive manner, implementing the quality standards. React proactively. You should seek the technology. You can have the manual. Because of once engineers are ordered the machine, catalog will be delivered before the machine landing. You can go through that. Then you can understand what are the similar type of machines available at somewhere industries. Your friends or your superiors might be there. You can ask them. We are going to. There's some information they might not share because of the confidential issues. But you just have that understanding. You just talk with your engineering manager. What is about this machine? What are the functionality? What are the things to be going to be fail critical parts? Likewise, that kind of understanding you will have. Accordingly, with that experience and knowledge, you can develop your own quality systems for that the machine. Most of the quality people are behaving very reactive manner. Once it is landed, the quality process is initiated with the rush, because of the once any organization machine is landed, they are under the rush of producing the product and releasing to the market, because of they have already invested let's say like 800, 600 million sometimes European machines, right? So very early stage, the management of the equipment should happen with your involvement should be there, right? This is another good practice. Then the autonomous maintenance. In most of the industries might call this in the abbreviation form like AIM. AIM is operators should be encouraged to perform autonomous maintenance. This is not the dedicated crew doing, right? This is not the operation the mechanical staff or electricians are doing. This is the operation which have been doing by the operators, machine operators, line operators. This is not the more complicated thing. They should have allocated time for cleaning, lubricant, inspection, and retightening of the machine. You know that very fundamental cleaning, lubricant, and inspection. Operator with their experience, they should have ability to do it. The basic cleaning, the lubricant part. This is not the much time. This should not be the much more time taken activity. Let's say like you can allocate 15 to maximum 30 minutes for the JH activities, autonomous maintenance activities per day. But every day this should happen, right? Then retightening. Retightening means operators time being they are not being they cannot be the technically sound of the technical operators, but operators, any operator, let's say like the new apart from the new recently who joined, let's say before 1 month, the operator should have that understanding on the machine functionality. Let's say if we are driving the vehicle, we are inspecting daily basis before our run. The battery water is sufficient, the radiator coolant is sufficient, tire is under the correct pressure, tire pressure is right? The vehicle, the lights are working fine. Likewise, this is the workaround audit by the operator, right? You should encourage this. This is another engineering activity. You have to work together with the plant engineer or an engineering head. You should push to this activity because of with their priorities, they might not have the right focus on this. You should have in your top priority list the autonomous maintenance. You are not doing this. You have to get the leadership and ensure happen this at in the right way at the shop floor, right? Then because of, if you are doing cleaning, lubrication and inspection and retightening in right manner, no longer defective quality products will be produced at your lines. Then aim, the benefit of the aim is we have discussed the last slide also. These are the importance of maintaining right autonomous maintenance at shop floor, right? Then the plant maintenance. Plant maintenance is another engineering activity. This is doing the very planned manner and the very professional, technical technicians, electricians, kind of people with the involvement of with the involvement of plant engineer, right? This is very planned activity. This is the most of the multinationals and the good organizations, they have annual maintenance plan. This equipment one is maintained at this month, this date. Not this date, at least this week. Equipment 2 is to be maintained, the maintained at dismantle and the part replacement. This part will be replaced at this week, on this month. Likewise, predefined plan they will have. This plan is prepared by the plant engineer. You need to incorporate with the plant engineer what are the, and you should provide your feedback, your understanding. Based on your understanding, you should provide the feedback to your plant engineers. These are the quality-wise important spare parts for me to happen, me to work in the perfect manner. If these parts of the machines going to be failed, then my quality process will be impacted. Because of that, that's why I am telling you should have somewhat good understanding about machine functionality. This is not that's why I am always telling this is not all about the out-of-date quality managers function. Out-of-date quality managers really were not looking at the plant manuals. They were not looking at the engineering aspects, right? They were not looking at the really financial, the financial requirements. But nowadays, quality managers' role, dear student, has changed drastically. If you are not going to align, if you are not going to, in the initial stages, it's fine. As a new, the beginner to the organizations, you are fine. But you should have huge challenge to in the very small time period, in the very the fast track, you need to capture those all necessities, right? If not, you are going to you are not going to fail. You are not able to sustain. You are not going to come to the expected level because of you might have a plan to go for an industry just after the graduation as quality executives, but you will not have the plan to be there forever as quality executive, right? As a quality executive, you won't be there forever. So challenge is huge. So you need to understand, if you are going to have the right understanding, all these, forget about all the out-of-date quality managers role and align into these, all the new modern, the requirements, then you will be success at the industry. You will have the better understanding, I think, on the plant maintenance, right? This is your part is not other than that. First, you should provide the spare parts to be maintained quality-wise important to the engineering manager, the plant engineer. You can maintain good relationship with him always, right? Then again, you should have the separate calendar, separate plan where the plant engineer has replaced those parts as at agreed frequency. Because of he might have planned with the certain production. You will understand when you are working in the industry, certain production pressures are having, especially during the type of COVID-19 these days. Most of the business are under the pressure. The plant manager priority is somehow to run the machine, but as a quality manager, you should push him to whenever get free and created some time free to replace these quality-wise critical items. If not, you all are in the trouble as an organization, right? This is the last but not least supplier quality assurance process. I told you, I explained you clearly in the previous slide. If you are going to in garbage, definitely you can expect superior products, right? You are ending up with the garbage out, right? So that's why the supplier quality process is much important. Supplier quality in the previous era, supplier quality was the hand of suppliers. We are not going to really look into that. We are not going to really look at their processes. But you believe modern quality assurance, we are treating them as our business partners. We are involving in their processes. In the agreement stage, we are signing. If not, they are not allowed us. Some suppliers, you believe like if we are going to audit them, we are going to work them. The egoistic suppliers can tell like you are not allowed to come to our processes. We will look after our process. You look after your process. If you are willing to purchase our product, just you purchase. If not, you reject. You can cease the business. Most of the intelligent suppliers will not have that understanding, but certain suppliers are. Especially the egoistic mindset is having with the government authorities, right? Government, the manufacturers. Let's say like I am having that personal experience. When I was handling the material at the Unilever quality, we produce, you might take that the interpretation who is the supplier sometimes. We were getting that the alcohol from Cologne manufacturing. Alcohol cannot be produced by the private owners, right? Then I visited that supplier telling about our requirements to be, and at the end of the day, you believe what they have told me, Mr. Chatura, you are purchasing 600 alcohol liters for your production per month, but XX alcohol industry is producing from us 600,000 liters per month, right? So you compare your quantity, considering your quantity, whatever the suggestions you are making to improve, we cannot do because of we are the government organization. We are not allowed to do that improvements at our processes. That's the example. That's why I am going to share, because of the nature of the organization, who we are going to demand, we should know that. And the initial agreement phase, we should agree with the supplier. We are entering into your process because of we need right quality product from you. And we are time to time, we are coming, we are going to share our good practices with you, and we are expecting right quality product from you. This is the maintaining, this is the connected with the supplier treating as our one of the business partners, right? This is another good practice. These are the type of raw materials and packaging materials we are getting. I think time is a little bit behind the clock, and this is I think the time has reached to keep my closure remark, I think, and we are about to conclude the session. This is end. The end of my presentation. I think the technical presentation, this is end. I believe you will understand that what are the timely requirements of the quality assurance process, rather than limiting to the certain the lagging practices at somewhere else, right? I am going to conclude the session. Ashini will start the Q&A session. If you have any unclarified area to be cleared area, furthermore, you just voice out and reach out me. As far as I know, I'll be answering questions. So that's why from the beginning I am telling, and now also I'm telling, I'm not the expert. Only one expert is in that area. As far as my knowledge, if I am able to answer your question, for creating your future is better, I'll be answering, no problem at all, right? And before the closure remark, I need to mention Professor Indira. She was, you know that she was very authentic person. I know him from my university era. I didn't study directly under her, but you know that chemistry department was at the time very close to the food science department. Now it has been changed the location, right? But whenever we are going to the department, she was with a smiley face. Every morning she was there saying good morning, and she was talking with me certain days back, certain weeks back. And you know that ways of she's expression and ways talking, very humble manner. Like I am not saying like it should not be happen. So I didn't expect that. You know that madam's behavior. So I need to mention her request she made on behalf of you students. Actually, she asked me to conduct this sort of session, and she was expecting me like very the authentic manner, like what should we do, Chatura, for industry perspectives? What are you are the industry professionals, what we should do? What should we improve, like for our students, what we should do, improving their skills, what to aligning your expectations. We are providing all the required knowledge and everything with the expertise panel, but we need to know somewhat what you are expecting as industry professionals. Madam, I'm very honored with the honor manner. I'm mentioning the madam's name also here. In addition to that, I need to mention that Dinesh Aryasiri and Varuna Akalanka, who's your superiors, and they have been working under me as a trainee. Varuna has been joined to Unilever as another job role also. Dinesh also going to be joined as the head of QA position very recently in the associated organization of Unilever. And also Ravindu, he is the one of our trainee. He has been completing his training position at Unilever. And also Damindu, he was also an Ashini. You are the people always coordinating with me, getting done this session without any interruption and ensuring the happening with the timely manner. That's my closure note. And thanks for everyone who are the participants as well as organizers. And at the end of the day, before the session conclusion, I need to again re-emphasize, don't limit the quality manager role to one particular specific area, as always I'm mentioning, like out of date quality managers function. You try to understand what are the modern day requirements. Accordingly, you can work and you will have that benefit. You will develop yourself. You will have certain problems when you are working with the industry, because of, though I am going to say these are not the bed of rose, these are not the things very easily can be done. The resistance are there because of you are going to be new to the industry. Even I have been near 14 years experience in the industry. I am also struggling doing some improvements regarding to some processes. You believe that? But I believe like the barriers and the restrictions, I see always like those are the opportunities God has given us to do, right? If not, the barriers and the opportunities are not given, we will not be sharpened. We will not have that opportunity to develop. You always don't see them as a barrier. You always try to see like them as the improvement point God has given to your life, right? As a new career. As well as I'm asking, this is the common request. This is not the very literally I'm requesting this because of you focus your degree, and at the same time you do some activities like I didn't do, genuinely I'm saying, like the Toastmaster clubs you might have, ISEC clubs you might have. You can engage with those activities because of I was not the part of those teams when I was at university. But your millennials, the baby boomers are also coming to now to your the universities now, because of that who are born after 2010, we are calling them as baby boomers. We are calling as millennials, right? The industry and the environment has changed drastically. You believe me, some of the people in our era also, we were thinking about why should I go there, and we came to just to complete our university degree. Once I complete this, I am returning. No need to pay attention on that. Extra activities like that. But I am encouraging you. That's the point I have missed, but you should learn something from that. I am going to share with my experience. If you are going to have that sort of the soft skills, you would have great additional benefit when you are entering to the industries, because of industries has drastically changed. They are expecting that much of soft skills from you. Technology wise, you can have that what are the modern technologies you are getting digitally. Let's say like Power BI, it could be like that the report generation format, data presenting, whatever the digital, the Power App, the things you can familiarize, then again you would have the benefits. I'm not saying that no need to focus that much more on before coming to the industry like MBA or CIMA qualified people. Industries are real. If you are a finance guy, then the CIMA or a CIM will have additional benefit, definitely. But as industry, we are not seeking that much of extra qualifications, certain level. If you are having the basic right fundamentals, you are capable to execute them at shop floor. And if you are having as far as good communication skills, you will have not any issue. Focus your degree. If other than who are focusing on academic, they should focus on 100% the studies. Unless and otherwise, the maintaining the improving the good relationships and the association kind of leaderships, that's industry as an industry, the professionals we are seeking. That's additionally I told you to develop, which I have given that I have missed certain points, but I am sharing with you how to develop it. I'm going to conclude, Ashini, this session. That's it from my side. Thank you all of you for the participation and being with me as last 1.5 hours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chathura Pandigama, for enlightening us today on quality assurance processes and on total quality management areas. Now, it's time for the Q&A session. I remind all the participants to drop their questions in the chat box area so that Mr. Chathura can clear all your doubts. Yes, we are getting some questions at the moment. So the first question would be, what kind of contribution does modern technology make for quality assurance processes in the FMCG sector?
Ashini, can you repeat it? I didn't hear you.
What kind of contribution does modern technology make for quality assurance processes in FMCG sector?
Yeah. Let me to come in this manner, right? Modern technology it is anyway good, right? But first of all, I would like to tell you, though I am going to tell like modern technology should be there, it is benefited, the business is going to be benefited because of the modern technology. You don't ask, go to industry. That person, Chathura, was telling one session, go for always the modern technologies, and you should go that without going to the modern technology. We cannot ensure quality. Don't do like that, right? First of all, right? If you are getting that depends based on the industry to industry, right? Let's say like for FMCG industry, the technology drastically it's replacing the out of date the most human involved processes, right? Let's say like the person is asking quality assurance. We with the experience I am having, let's say like particular defect, right? Product leakages. Let's say like for the toothpaste manufacturing, product leakages. I told you like it was producing 200 units per minute, right? You believe the one person we are going to place the defective products and getting captured, is it practical? No, not at all. Because of 200 units per minute means one unit is produced at, even 2 units are produced at less than 1 second. How can we evaluate the product defects, right? You believe you can imagine how much of each we are going to produce per shift per hour. So we have one example that we have installed to monitor the defect, the vision camera system. Vision camera system is the latest technology we are having. Each and every product that depends on the detectability. If we have the 800 UPM units per minute lines, we can have different set of vision cameras. If we have like 200 units per units, then we can have different vision camera technologies. That's how we are monitoring the defects, those lines. We cannot assure 100% because of those are being the European lines, we cannot guarantee those are working fine. Some defects might have because of the failures of the machine. Those are machines, right? So detect that. One example I can tell, we have introduced vision camera system to our industry. Let's say like code eligibility check, the sealability check, everything is checked at the vision camera system. And another system, the sensor kind of mechanisms you can have. Let's say like customer packs, you supposed to be there 6 units per pack. The packing lines are fully automated. You believe me, one day if I got the opportunity, I'll show you in the like video even, right? At least the people who have been with us as the industrial trainees, they know this. The customer pack, 1 unit can be missed because of none of the people involved are there. All the products are coming through the line. They are being packed with the robotic arms, and they are packed into the CLDs and passing to the common conveys to the warehouses. Then it is nobody can check. The customers are the individual can check it during their purchase. So we have the separate set of sensor mechanism, vision camera mechanism we can introduce to this sort of nature. Right? Those are the modern technology. As an example, few I can tell, those certain the examples I can tell, but with this limited time, I cannot share with you. I'm again saying, you don't ask your small entrepreneurs to install vision camera. This person was asking us to know, not easy to monitor this with this speed, the quality defect. You should go for the vision camera system. That's not the small investment. Huh? Right? I think that suffices my answer, I think, and getting clarity to the question.
Thank you, Mr. Chathurath. Moving on to the next question. Can you explain the YY method?
Yeah, that's another, I think I'm in the intention of the basic understanding is with you. That's another, the vast area. I'll briefly explain you. Once you have the problem, once you have the quality defects because of one failure, you should have a better understanding why this defect has been happened. Because of, if we are going to jump into the problem and keeping our in our mind like this should be the cause, I am going to eliminate this cause. If I am going to, as far as I am going to eliminate this cause, defect is no longer with us. That's the out of date mindset. Most of the people are doing that. But there should be some scientific method. So YY analysis, it's called like a 5Y, number 5Y analysis, it's too called, right? Like, because of, first you ask, let's say like code is not printed in the expected manner, right? That would be the problem. That could be the problem you are facing, right? First, under first Y, there is a format here. That's why I told you this is the most the vast area to be explained. In simple form, I'll be explaining. In simply, I can say this is the scientific method. First Y, we ask why we are getting the date code missing. Then first Y giving very simple answer. We are getting this defect because of code is not being printed. Then second Y, why code is not being printed? Code is not being printed. Bottle is passing the printing machine at high speed, not at the given speed, right? Likewise. Then third Y ask why this bottle is not going through the printing machine in correct speed. It could be like motor is not appropriate as we expected to run that conveyor belt. Then again we are asking under the fourth why motor has not been sufficient to manage that process. Likewise, you can go as much as possible wise you can go. At the end of the day, the method is recommend at least you should have 5 Ys. When you are going to ask 5 why you are asking, you will be ended up the solution. Because of this failure, you are not getting the correctly printed date code tags. Then you are in a position to identify the right cause and the getting implemented the improvement. Right? That's all about YY. It's a vast area. So we have to learn the industry. When you are getting into the industry, you will have that opportunity to learn that.
Thank you, Mr. Chathurath. So the final question for today's session is, what are the major challenges faced by FMCG industry under their quality assurance processes during this pandemic season?
Yeah, let me to explain. During this COVID period, we all are in trouble. We are all are in trouble. No, this is not the very unique for somebody. Around the world, throughout the country, we are facing the same issue. Point number one is, you know that everybody is aware on this import bans, right? Import bans, because of the most of the FMCG industries are totally depending on the imports. They are getting their raw materials, not the most of the time, not the packaging materials, but you know that as a country, we don't have the much availability, abundance of the raw materials. So we are getting the most of the raw materials, let's say 95% raw materials, other than the salt, right? We have salt, we are getting sometimes salt from here. Other than the salt, we are all, and the herbal extract, sometimes the industry people getting the locally. Unless and otherwise, we are getting all the raw materials from India, China, and somewhere else outside the country, right? with the COVID situation, which was facing the China and India, you know that they were at very bad the managing the COVID. During that period, we were having the problem with getting the raw materials with our procurement. Then they used separate suppliers for getting the materials for our manufacturing processes rather than instead of the registered suppliers. Registered supplier, we know everything about them, right? Because of they have registered with us, they have been there, they have been doing their business with certain years back, long time. The relationship is at good, reliability is at good, right? But you believe certain new suppliers were adding to our process, supplying the materials because of the wherever available, people are tend to get the materials because of business somehow need to run first. That's not the problem. The challenge is how we are going to establish right quality assurance process mechanism against them, right? Because of some quality assurance processes might not work against them. But as saying like we are not in a position to evaluate against our existing quality parameters and blindly we cannot accept, because of at the end of the day, we will be ending up with a disaster everybody, right? Putting consumers' life in a threatening, right? So that was the challenge one, right? Challenge two is getting the people, right, to the industries, because of you know that the country restrictions one day now it's far better, right? You know that we were having in the 2020 this the period, the complete lockdown was there, people were getting infected, country lockdowns. The one area today they are locked, the government is was lockdowning. Then another area, another day was lockdowning. The people managing part was not not easy, not an easy. You know that some critical operators are not coming to the operation because of COVID restrictions, but we cannot stop the process. We cannot, because of one operator, everything is at the production line because of the operator unavailability. We cannot accept that, no, right? As a business, the government organizations most of the time that will accept, but as a private the organization we cannot accommodate that. So challenge was getting sometimes we have to get new people as on temporary basis, expertise from outside, and how we are they are coming with their expertise knowledge about the job, but how we are getting aligned them to our quality assurance process. If they are going to behave with their technical expertise and with their own wish, the neglecting the quality assurance processes and the practices at the industry, then again we will be all are in a trouble, right? How we can train them, how we can getting aligned as per our requirements, that was another challenge, right? Those are the two challenges we made during the COVID period, the delivering the products to the market while ensuring the right quality to the consumers.
Thank you, Mr. Chatura. So with that, we have come to the end of the Q&A session. Thank you, Mr. Chatura, once again for answering all the questions. On that note,
welcome.
On that note, to deliver the vote of thanks for today's session, I cordially invite Co-Director of Industry, Malki Disanayaka.
May I know whether I'm audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very glad to have this opportunity to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the Association of Food Science and Technology, University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. First and foremost, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to our facilitator for today's webinar, Mr. Chatura Pandigana. Please accept our heartfelt gratitude for enlightening us with your knowledge and for sacrificing your valuable time on behalf of us. The knowledge and the experience that you shared will be a great aid for us to reach valuable milestones in our future career. And also, we wish you all the very best for your future. Next, I would like to thank our dearest lecture panel of Department of Food Science and Technology for their advice and support rendered towards this event. At last, but not least, I would like to thank all the participants for joining with us. Also, I kindly invite you to participate in our upcoming sessions as well. Thank you very much for each and every individual who supported us, even by a single word, by making our project a great success. Thank you. Have a good day.